Today's podcast is brought to you by Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, well, let me explain. It's the easiest way to make a podcast. It's free. It has creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor distributes your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many other platforms. You don't even have to think about it. You just load up your podcast, you drop it in, you tweak it, you add ads. You can make money from your podcast. There's no minimum listenership either. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Club Cool puts the podcast out on Anchor. So do all the other Wash Media podcasts. And we've done this from other platforms. Nothing is as seamless or pretty or easy or just, perfect for putting out a podcast. So check out Anchor. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Welcome to the club.
Welcome back, everybody, for another edition of the Club Cool podcast. Clubhouse doors are open, and I'm your host, Barrett Dudley, joined on the other side of the table by Phil Battaglia. Phil,
Hey, man.
what's going on?
Chilling.
How's your week? How's your week been going? Short week.
Short week. Started off with a beautiful hangover.
Yeah. That was. I'm taking full credit for that one.
You didn't order the shots, pal.
Yeah, but I definitely encouraged them.
You did.
Yeah.
When I heard that comment come from you at dinner that what'd you say? You've made the decision. You're past the point of going back. There's no return.
I was. Yeah. If you, by the way, we're here in the lodge, the Wash Media Studios, brought to you by Washed Media. And if you paid attention last week, then maybe you knew that Phil and I were going to be on a little staycation adventure together with another one of our friends and his wife. And look, man, I'm not going to lie. I take any opportunity I can at this point to go hard.
Yeah.
Because at almost 35 years old, those opportunities and those moments are few and far between. So when I get a chance to be a young go hard and to force everybody around me to also be a young go hard, that's what I like to.
Okay.
That's what I like to do. And so yes, so we had we all we showed up at the. By the way, I will plug them now. I said no free ads last week, but I had such a good time. I do want to give big shouts to Carpenter Hotel.
Great spot.
Because it was a fantastic spot, and they got everything there, man. Mm-hmm. You don't need to leave.
No, and they're super chill too, right? I
Yes.
mean, they're cool about dogs, not in the pool, but like dogs are free, parking free.
Free.
Those two things alone are huge pluses.
They got you set up. You check in, they give you a little number. You're on a text thread with them from the moment you check in.
Whatever you need.
All you got to do is text them for whatever you need. I like the rooms are nice. Mm-hmm. They're good sized, comfortable. They got all the the amenities are right, and they're not nickel and diming you for anything. Mm-hmm. The restaurant's pretty good. I feel like I discovered the most underrated breakfast taco spot in the whole city. I'd literally never heard about it before, and it's the best breakfast tacos I've ever had. It's at the little coffee shop right at the Carpenter Hotel. Here's how you know something's good. When you go to a place and they're like, "Oh yeah, we have breakfast tacos," and you have two options.
Yeah.
That is a good sign.
Uh-huh.
Think about the opposite of that, right? Is like the 48-page menu at Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah.
No, that's not what you want.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want somebody that does like a million things sort of okay.
A lot of hotels will have a full-on menu
when
of
they
all kinds
know
of shit.
When they know like these are the two things, these are the best versions of them, and we have perfected them. It's the only thing we're going to offer. I just feel like that's usually a good sign.
It's also a good sign when they run out.
So when you walk in and they're like, "Yeah, these are your options. You got the potato or you got the chorizo." Mm-hmm. That I was like, okay, all right, I'm in. And now you and your wife got the last potato.
I didn't even have any
on Monday morning.
I was skeptical of the chorizo.
So I had to go chorizo, and I'm skeptical of chorizo as well.
Yeah.
I now want to buy a basket full of those, and I want to walk around, just drive around to every other breakfast taco spot in the city, and I want to throw one of the chorizo tacos from Carpenter Hotel at them and be like, look at this. Chorizo does not have to be a greasy, disgusting, sloppy mess with grease dripping out the back of the taco. There was none of that.
None.
It was beautiful.
It was great. No salsa needed.
No salsa needed. They were out of salsa. Didn't need it.
Didn't need it.
Who needs it?
Good amount of egg, too. Not too much egg.
Not too much egg. Oh, my God.
Cheese. Perfect.
Yeah. I'm like looking for an opportunity to get back to just the coffee shop.
Hotel coffee is what it's called.
Hotel coffee. That's
Get
it.
in there.
Get in there.
Man, that was now.
But I used to be very like somebody was just recently asking me for Austin hotel recs. They were going to be celebrating an anniversary. Dropped in the DMs, and my go-to recommendation has always been South Congress Hotel, which I've also stayed at, and I like their pool and I like their rooms, and obviously they have a cool bar and good restaurants and a coffee shop that I also really enjoy, called Mañana. But man, if you want a slightly quieter experience, you don't want to be right in the mix there on South Congress and be in the middle of all that insanity, Carpenter Hotel is where it's at.
Still walkable too.
For sure, very walkable to stuff as well. So by the time dinner rolled around on Sunday night, we'd pre-partied a little bit. We'd been at the pool. It was too late to have like a nice, like a chill Monday morning.
That's not why we were there. I wasn't there to have dinner and then go to bed.
Exactly.
That was understood.
Yeah, exactly.
But you made it explicitly clear, and then that got me all hyped.
And and I did. After we wrapped up dinner, there's a bar, just very very quick jaunt. What is that place? Barton Springs Saloon. And we went and we got some Modelo's and some tequila shots, man, and that sealed the Monday experience right there. Is what that did. But
that was it.
Yeah, because we don't do this so often anymore. Those days are, it's like a full day recovery.
Yeah.
And that's just I'm okay with that. I'll make the trade basically.
I fared better on Monday than I thought I would.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse.
But yeah, man, it was good stuff. And it was a lot of fun. Managed to make it through the rain. Got a little bit of good weather. Got a little bit of sun. But so we went to Barton Springs Saloon. Not a place I'd been in a while. Very kind of, would you call it a dive bar?
Yeah.
It's a little divey.
Oh, it's divey.
Right?
But it also there's a lot of tourist action in there just because of where it's at.
Because of where it's at?
Yeah.
Okay. I've been thinking recently, when we in the middle of last week, we also went over to Deep Eddy Cabaret, which is like a sceney dive bar now. It's become a hybrid of sorts. But I get the sense that everybody is into dive bars right now. I feel like that's what people want. It's
what
like,
I want.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I've been trying to digest like why that's kind of the preference. And part of what I was kind of going towards or narrowing in on is that a dive bar like is low expectations.
Yeah.
And so there's far more room to like, it's kind of like how the best parties are the ones that you don't really plan for. They just kind of happen. They just kind of come together last minute and suddenly there's 25 people and it was a great party. Instead of, it's going to be this and this and this and this person's going to come and we're going to have this and we're going to have this.
Yeah.
Like that can work out sometimes, but the ones that are like super memorable just kind of materialize kind of almost out of nothing. That's almost the feeling that I get with a dive bar. It's like anything can happen.
Yeah.
You don't have your expectations set so high like you might like, if you're going to go to some nice fancy cocktail bar or a club or do bottle service or like something like that, it's already in your head that it's going to be, that it's going to be a movie.
Yeah.
As the kids are saying.
Well, with a dive bar, to me, it always just feels better. You walk in, you see a old, nothing is nice, jukebox, or whatever. There's never like overly loud music. You can always hold a conversation with somebody. You spill something, nobody gives a shit. You don't have to sit there and like contemplate some cocktail menu that's, a page and a half long.
Yep. Yeah,
it just feels like you're at a house party. Yeah, that's what everybody wants.
Yeah, and you're going for like that Boilermaker type stuff, right? Like a beer and a shot.
Right.
And there's totally like there's like a sliding scale for the dive bar, right? Like it becomes more and more of what you want it to become as the night gets later and later. Mm-hmm. So like I feel like that music gets a little bit louder. Maybe some live music goes on. Uh-huh. Everybody that's sticking around like past 6 and then past 7 and then past 8 is like there to keep drinking. Mm-hmm. And so it's just like it all like it just kind of like builds, so it can start really low key and really subtle and just conversational. Maybe you're just there for happy hour, grab 1 or 2 beers. But if you stay, it can take you where you want to go.
It will reveal itself to you. One thing the dive bar really can get out of whack pretty quick is the restroom situation.
Yeah.
And I just always feel so terrible for the girls. Because for us, you go in, there's not a lot of touching of surfaces.
Yeah, that's right.
Girls have all kinds of stuff that they have to deal with.
Yeah.
And those bathrooms can get gnarly.
They can.
And other than that, I'm all in.
Well, it's very thoughtful of you to be looking out for the ladies in your life.
Is. Well, to date, the worst restroom I've ever been in my entire life is Egos on South Congress.
Okay, all right.
The karaoke bar.
Hey, that makes me feel like you've never been to any like Dirty Six bars.
Well, I have.
Into the restroom.
You're right. You're right.
Or even like Little Woodrow's, man.
Yeah. But this particular night,
Little Woodrow's men's bathroom is a 3 hole in approximately like 8 square feet. Somehow there are 3 receptacles in that bathroom.
Well, I mean, I don't know what was going on in this joint at this particular time, but it stuck out in my head. The smell was just
at Egos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was stuff everywhere and just not
good.
That's
another but great example. One of my favorite bars in town.
Great bar.
Bad bathroom. Little karaoke. Yeah.
Heavy-handed pours on the cocktails.
Oh, yeah. Comes with the territory, though.
Yeah.
Find me a dive bar with a fantastic bathroom, and I'll show you a bad dive bar.
Yeah, you're right.
But who knows? I don't know what the ladies looks like. Maybe the ladies is where they're keeping it real.
Yeah,
nice
they keep it
there.
clean over there. Sure,
sprucing it up. They got some Febreze airspray in there.
Yeah,
that type of thing.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
One dive bar experience that sticks out in my head that was a little seedy, where you walk in and you don't really feel the vibe. Was in a little town. Look it up, Brooklyn, Texas, in far east Texas. We were there for a lake trip, and somebody made the suggestion to go to this fucking place, and it was bring your own liquor. You want to bring bottles of whiskey in? Fine.
That's divey. Now that is divey.
It was unbelievable, dude. We walked in, and it's like a record scratched. We didn't last long. We had to get out of there.
Yeah. The small town dive bars are very dangerous depending on the company that you're keeping.
Oh, yeah.
We've been in some small towns on like our live draft weekends.
That's the same scenario.
Yeah. And that was that's like seconds away from just being like an all-out bar brawl.
You're going to be on the news in the morning.
That's more stress than I need to be dealing with.
No, that's not fun.
But I don't know. I just been thinking about like, I'm traveling this weekend, and while I just want a little bit of both. Like I'd love to get a swanky martini somewhere, right? A little teeny time. But also just, I'm totally cool with stepping into like a grungy brewery or a little cool little dive bar as well.
Where are you going?
San Diego.
Oh yeah.
Whale's Vagina.
Man, I bet they've got some great dive bars.
Maybe. I don't know. San Diego seems pretty classy though too.
Yelp it.
Worst dive bars. That's because that's what you want. Like 2.5 stars on Yelp.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, weekend was good. Young Sonny and
Young Sonny
and Sloppy Poppy were having a good time.
Man, they really partied.
Roughhousing. It's great to be able to bring the dogs.
That was good. Grace cut me off early. We'll get into that later.
All right, where should we go to next? Let's see. Well, over the course of the weekend and after last week's podcast, we many people submitted their entries for like their vacation shoe. And so I wanted to do a quick recap because we left out some stuff last week that's maybe good options for people out there that are still thinking about this. One, in the Discord, the Discord's champ for this is the Birkenstock Arizona, which is the 2-strap Birkenstock that you know very well. And they make an all EVA version of this. So it's like all plastic. It's all like the it's kind of like the water shoe hydromock material, but very easy slip on, slip out. People are loving these. Laura actually has a pair of these that are like her house shoe, basically. They make them for guy and men's sizes, bunch of solid colors, and they're like $40. Same as So that's a very, very popular option. By the way, if you want access to the Discord, just come join us on Patreon for as little as $2 a month. If you join right now, you're the May content is still hot. It's still hot in the pan. It just came out. It just launched. So you're going to get May's, which just launched last week. And then you have all of June to look forward to more content as well. That's patreon.com/clubcool. Best way to support this podcast. And that's how you get access to the Discord. And you would have already known this about the Birkenstock EVAs. We had a vote for just all white Vans Authentics. Another inexpensive option, $50. Get a new pair every summer. Just thrash the shit out of them. So it doesn't matter if you beat them up at the pool, get sand in them.
Good festival shoe.
Spill your Miami Vice on them. And I always mention Rivieras. You familiar with a Riviera?
No.
I'm going to pull one up.
Okay.
It's like it's kind of the classic leisure shoe. I think that's the way that it's branded. And it feels, almost more than anything, it feels like the kind of Euro, Italian, Amalfi Coast, Positano shoe.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very kind of like if you're living that talented Mr. Ripley, Dickie Greenleaf vibe in lifestyle, this is the move.
Yeah,
again,
cool.
Under $100, and they're designed to be worn at the beach, worn at the pool, and to kind of to take you into to a night on the town if you want as well. Oh, how about that color name? The Maltese Falcon.
Wow.
Very fancy.
Is that all they have?
What? No. There's what?
3, 6, 7?
What are you talking about?
7 options?
Yeah. On Mr. Porter.
That's good. Oh, on Mr. Porter.
This is not their website.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like a condensed
Yes.
option.
Just like the breakfast taco
Yeah.
selection.
Yeah.
Give me 2 or fewer. So you got the Rivieras out there. A little too low profile of a shoe for me right now. I just feel very dainty
Yeah.
in them.
They're like those little ballet slippers.
Kinda. Yeah. But if you're like
Now that we've built them up, we're gonna shit on them and bring them back down.
well, it's still if you show up in a pair, like there are dudes that I can think of that I know would pull off a pair of Rivieras very well.
Will DeFreeze.
Yes, right, and they fall in line with the Sabas. Another shoe that I really like. I look at them. I get targeted by them on Instagram all the time. I pull them up. They've got good looking stuff. They just feel too small on my feet. But that's exactly where I was going. Rivieras, if you're like 6 foot tall, and you got maybe like a little size to you. Maybe you're a thick boy, maybe you're not, but I just mean a little, like if you're just a bigger guy.
Yeah.
I feel like you pull off the smaller shoe better.
Interesting.
I feel like lower profile, little dainty shoes accentuate our undersizedness.
We're not undersized, Barrett.
If you will.
We're perfect. Just the way we are.
Thank you for that. And then what I had for the pool this past weekend, I just pulled out like my strapped up Suicoke sandals. Everybody, you know them as the Tiva style, but Chacos, Merrill makes pairs. I'm obviously a Suicoke fan. Tiva's great. I'm sure there are plenty of other options out there for that type of sandal, but that's good too. And I like that because it's more secure than a slip-on. That's also the drawback though. Not as easy to just put on and go.
Yeah.
But if you like to have a little bit more sturdiness, a little more ability to, I don't know, like climb a rock wall or something.
Yeah.
Walk up a cliff. Can't do that in flip
You
flops.
can't trek through the dunes and flops.
Absolutely not.
You could.
It'd be a miserable experience though.
Also, like when I was thinking about what we were talking about last week, and I mentioned that I like the Jack Purcells or whatever, something laced. It's always such a bitch if there's sand involved.
Yeah.
You got to do a full clean, and you still get sand in there. So anyway, I think something like the Hydromock is. We keep talking about that, but
I did. I got my white Hydromocks.
beautiful. Bring them back.
If you are interested in procuring a pair of the white Hydromocks, which are in women's, go up 2 from your true men's size.
I see.
So like I'm a Brannick 9. I went up to a women's 11. It's the exact same fit.
Okay.
Seemingly, they feel.
I'll
feel
probably
great.
be copping those. Those are nice.
They're great. They lived up to expectations, and I really.
Well, you already have the other pair of the Boulders.
Yeah, but these have refreshed my Hydromock championing.
Yeah.
That's not a word.
When did you first hear about the Hydromock? Because I heard about them from you, and for Merrill to show up and get all hyped up is out of left field.
So
Where were they popping up?
So the very first place that I ever saw them was at the beginning last spring.
Yeah.
18 East was styling a bunch of products. a lot of when they were doing like their campaigns and their their photo shoots and stuff like that. They were putting together a lot of the outfits with this shoe. And I actually had to I remember like Googling like rubber shoe with holes or something. Because the first time I saw them, I was like, wait, that's not the Yeezy foam thing, is it? And they're not. And then I saw after I started seeing them pop up with 18 East, the host of a podcast, which shall not be named, also had them last summer.
Okay.
But I still feel,
You were on the bleeding, cutting tip edge.
No, I wasn't on the bleeding edge. Let me give myself this. I feel like I was an early adopter.
You were?
But I was not on the bleeding edge.
Okay.
I can't go that far.
All right.
And I feel like I have to admit, because I don't want to get called out like,
Yeah.
he had them on. Bet you saw that, didn't you bitch?
Fucking poser.
But seriously, 18 East is the first place that I really started seeing them. Antonio was wearing them, and they were in photo shoots. Yeah. So, but they're great, man. I think they still look badass, and there's a bunch of cool new colorways. Some of the colorways that sold out on Merrell's website are still available on End, but they're a little bit more expensive.
Yeah.
Than US
And no takebacks.
US retail, and difficult to send back.
You better be
Indeed.
damn sure about your size.
What are you doing with Jack Purcells to clean them up? You throwing those in the wash?
No. They're fucked. I've worn those at like 3 ACLs.
Okay.
Yeah,
but could you throw them in the wash?
Yes.
I'm throwing running shoes in the wash.
Yeah. I do that.
Yeah. Seems to be a very effective way to get them cleaned up. I've had no bad experiences with ruining them in the washing machine.
No, you shouldn't. The shoe should be able to withstand that.
Yeah. But it's tough to know like how far does that extend?
Yeah.
What can you throw in the wash? What can you not? As far as shoes goes.
Yeah.
Obviously, you don't want to throw any leather or suede in there. But anything that's mostly like synthetics and synthetic for sure, but also like cottons and canvases seem to do okay. I wouldn't throw anything cotton canvas in the dryer though.
No.
Could shrink up. Throw the whole thing off.
That would be bad.
Don't want to ruin the integrity of the shoe.
No.
You had some stain questions while we're talking about laundering things.
I'm always just so perplexed at how water can stain a garment. This happened to me recently.
Did this happen to you this past weekend?
No. But it's happened to me multiple times. But now, preface that with it's typically not like just water out of a glass that spills on something, and it is typically rain. And so this past instance, with all that rain we just got, it soaked our doormat.
Oh, yeah.
You know? So you got to wring this thing out. So I threw it up on the tree, and in doing so, it slung some water up on me. Little droplets.
Uh-huh.
And it stained what I was wearing.
That has to be a mix of like water,
And dirt,
mud,
and something.
dirt,
Yeah.
tree, doormat. I think you just,
Okay, so, but back
you got all the petrochemicals in the
atmosphere.
and then the atmospherics.
Yeah.
Free radicals, probably.
Free radicals. Another time that comes to mind is when we were doing trade shows, and I had a whole bag of samples, and somehow they got wet in transit.
Yeah.
And ruined just about every one of them.
But
it was nothing more than a water stain, a little ring
Again, though, it's coming through that bag.
coming through the bag, picking up whatever.
Yeah. That's all. Yeah.
But to
You
me,
got the hangers in there. You got other stuff in there. I don't know. It
just seems like the water wouldn't do that, but obviously.
Water mixed with anything, including like the acid from the rain, can be dangerous as far as stains go.
And we washed them immediately. So this brings me back to Grace cutting me off. That's not my wife. That's Barrett's dog.
Yeah.
Love Grace to death, and she knows what she's doing, obviously. We were in our hotel room after the full night. What was it, like nearing
midnight
or 1?
Yeah, probably close to 1. Yeah.
That's past your boy's bedtime.
That's very late.
And I had a glass of wine in my hand, and she nosed me for a pet. And in doing so, got the glass of wine on my shirt.
Ugh.
And so the next day, washed the shirt, gone. No, there's no stain.
Really?
No.
Was it a white shirt?
No.
Okay, that's possible.
But still, you would expect something to remain. Nothing.
Home wash.
Home wash.
I don't know you anything for the dry cleaning bill.
No, you don't. I wouldn't take that to... What do they do at the dry cleaners to get a stain out? Do you know?
Yeah, they use chemicals. And I'll
The
tell you what.
answer.
It's called if you go to a regular dry cleaner, they're going to use what's called perk. Perk is bad for your clothes. It's bad for the environment. It's bad for everything. It's
Just a
from what I understand.
cancer-causing...
Now you can go down
Free radical.
to a green. Yeah, it's a free radical. It's very radicalized.
I've been to these guys.
You can go down to a green cleaners. We have like one in Austin, surprisingly.
Yeah.
You'd think we'd have more of them by now.
They're good.
And they'll use like natural type
Yeah.
ingredient type stuff, I guess, or less harsh chemicals that aren't polluting the environment and aren't as bad for your clothes. I don't know what they do. I don't know what those are, but I will let you know that this is ungodly expensive.
Yeah.
Like we're talking one garment is like $13. Mm-hmm. So that is probably why not more of them exist, because the price differential is still, people are just like, I'm just going to go to the regular dry cleaner.
Do you have any tricks and tips?
So yeah, I like a little, I like a spray, which is kind of a gel spray stain remover. The one that I typically buy is Shout.
I have some.
Blue Bottle Shout.
And that works on color as well?
And that works on color as well. Now you got to be where you have to like err on the side of caution is if you have something. Look, we've talked about this before, but the more expensive your clothes are, the more careful you have to be. The worse they hold up in the wash, the more finicky they are about like treating with stain removers, that type of stuff. It's just it's using nicer materials. It's using stuff that's a little bit more peculiar, a little bit more just fickle with what it wants to do or not do. So, the label on like this Shout type stuff or OxyClean or Tide or whichever one you buy, it's going to be like tested on an inconspicuous area. Now, I don't usually bother with that if it's like, just a T-shirt that that I spilled something on. But if it's like some like fancy pair of shorts or something like that, I'll give it a little test somewhere inconspicuous. But beyond that, you're spraying, you're rubbing in, and then you're letting sit overnight. Got to be overnight.
Okay.
But then you don't want to wait too much longer than overnight to go for a regular wash. That was me.
That was you.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got this fucking thing.
I thought I
We
went
got
mute.
speakers coming
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Slack.
But it went right into your right. It sounded like it was
Yeah.
going for, yeah.
I was like, I don't have Slack on here right now.
But yeah, so that's, and then you go in regular wash.
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing in the washing machine.
Yeah, I was.
And that typically works for me.
Wine has always worked out for me as far as getting it on stuff. It usually will come out. And that's not like going home and washing it immediately. The next morning, next afternoon.
The only time I've not been able to get wine stains out is if I let it sit for like days.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
But it doesn't necessarily have to be immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world with the wine. Now with water that's tainted,
hard. That's yeah. Too many minerals in there, man.
Heavy metals.
Those radicalized minerals. Oh man.
I've been watching Old Bourdain.
Yeah.
I always want to call it No Reservations, but it's Parts Unknown.
Well, there are two, Parts Unknown and No Reservations.
But both are equally great. First of all,
which one came first?
No Reservations. But Parts Unknown is pretty old now, and it just makes me miss Anthony Bourdain so terribly. That's a guy that we had this conversation during our drunken stupor about getting out of bed for a particular artist.
We did, yes.
This is a guy, not different, but if you were to see him out somewhere, I would get really antsy and excited.
That's who you would be starstruck by.
Completely.
Yeah.
I saw Robert Plant twice in Austin and didn't really lose my shit. I was like, wow, cool.
Who's losing their shit over Robert Plant?
He's the lead singer of Led Zeppelin. Having dinner at your favorite restaurant, Perla's. That's where I saw him the first time.
Oh, man. He's a big Perla's guy, I bet.
Yeah, but the reason for that is because he lived directly behind a friend of mine.
Yeah.
And they'd see him every day, like, sweeping the patio with his shirt off. So it's just like another dude. But anyway, Bourdain's incredible. And we've been watching the old ones, and he was just in Denmark at Noma.
Yeah, very famous restaurant if you're not familiar.
Yeah.
Who puts together that top 100 or top 50 restaurants in the world? It's like Travel Magazine or something like that?
I don't know.
There's a list that is kind of the de facto. People consider it the one.
Is it Food and Wine?
It might be Food and Wine. Let's see, top 50
restaurants in the world.
I'll look up who puts this together. But Noma is in Denmark.
Yeah.
Copenhagen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and has frequently been, or was for many years, I believe, the number one restaurant on this list.
They talk about that 3 years in a row. He got number one, and it got me all jazzed up about going to get a incredible restaurant experience. So I took a dive into the first thing that came up. It may have been you and I having this conversation, but that 11 Madison.
Maybe it was. I was definitely having this 11 Madison Park news broke a week and a half or so ago. Oh, were we talking about this with Clayton?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe so.
I don't know.
Anyway,
they're opening back up.
Yep.
But as a full vegan menu. Is that correct?
That is correct. Now, they with one exception, they do like a part of the experience at 11 Madison Park. And also, there are a few American restaurants that make this list, this top 50. It's just the world's 50 best. If you want to check it out, theworlds50best.com. I can't remember exactly who puts this out, basically. But 11 Madison Park has been the highest ranked American restaurant on here, the highest ranked U.S. restaurant. Widely considered the best restaurant in the States, and they have been closed for almost all of the pandemic. So yeah, they are. And anyway, part of the experience is that I believe they do a tea service. It's the very first thing they do, or maybe it's coffee, and they're still going to serve milk with the coffee, and that's the only thing that's breaking the rule.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I love it. I think it's cool. And what always intrigued me about Noma is how he does a full season of just vegetables for the tasting menu. And then they'll do another one that incorporates.
Speaking of, and people that have like tried to, kind of follow in those Bourdain's footsteps, with the Efron show on Netflix, they went somewhere over in Scandinavia, and they were at one of these restaurants that like does this, where it basically specializes in like creating. I don't know if meat-like is the right adjective, but they're making the meal out of vegetables.
Yeah.
You know, like everything that you could possibly want, the flavor and the texture and the umami and like the salt, fat, acid, heat, right? They're doing it all with vegetables, which is a bigger ask. It's a more difficult task to accomplish, basically. And that's what the head chef at 11 Madison Park, that's basically what he said. He was like, at this point, if we're really going to test ourselves and really challenge ourselves to be the best restaurant in the world, like this is the frontier. This is where we have to go to like even really be competing for that type of prestige.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was a really interesting way of looking at it. And you're not a huge meat eater. I'm an omnivore, I guess is the right way to put it, but eat meat most days, but not for every single meal.
Yeah.
Basically. And we try to cook vegetarian, about once a week, I would say. But I think there's a pretty obvious like need for people to reduce the amount of meat that they're like consuming and taking in, just to kind of like to help with arguably the biggest problem in the climate change stuff, which is the mass livestock farming and all of that commercial livestock and all of that stuff. It's an issue. So I think it's very cool that super high end restaurants are kind of taking on the challenge. Now we were talking a little bit off mic right before we started the podcast about how scary it is to plop down $500 a person, which is what 11 Madison Park costs. It's a tasting menu, right? I don't think you can go in there and order a la carte off a menu.
I don't know.
I think you book a reservation and you show up and they feed you, basically.
Yeah, great.
And I believe that hovers, it might be different nights based on what they're serving, but I believe that hovers right around $500 a person. It is scary to spend that much knowing that they're not going to serve you any meat, I think.
No.
Do you disagree?
I think you're in for such a journey with the 100% vegan menu that it's just going to blow your freaking mind.
Does it make you feel, does it diminish the perceived value though? Because like typically if you're spending that much, aren't you going to get some in like, even with a omakase sushi menu, right? You're going to get something really like exotic as far as the fish or the urchin or whatever they use.
That's what scares me.
So where's the price coming from though? Because the perceived value is like, well, am I going to get some crazy monkfish or wagyu steak or like some shit I've never even heard about? I don't know.
But to me, what scares me about plopping down anything, within these tasting menu ranges, you're looking probably minimum $250 a head at some places. I don't know. 200 a head.
200.
Yeah.
I mean, there are plenty of tasting menus that are $150, but
right.
But we're talking on this higher end, yeah, where it's like $250.
I just get freaked out that they're gonna put something in front of me that I know I'm not gonna like.
Okay.
I don't like uni.
Okay.
Sue me. Okay.
Yeah.
That's always on these menus.
Uncultured swine.
Yeah. and not always on these menus, but it appears quite often. And I don't really get into like snails.
Okay.
But will I try it? Yeah, I'll try it. But I just worry that like I'm gonna get a few courses that just totally miss for me. And with vegetables, that seems more difficult to do for my palate, unless it's some crazy like sour tart vegetable that just doesn't work.
Yeah.
But I don't see them doing that.
So you're full on this.
100%.
You prefer this experience.
Yes,
in fact.
for sure.
Okay. Your restaurant Pujol is on this list.
Oh, good.
It was on the most recent one. It's 2019, so it's
very good.
It's been a couple years, but number 12.
Wow, it's a hell of a place, man. And again, with that kind of restaurant, it's not. I would say 50% of it is the experience.
It's kind of embarrassing that the U.S. doesn't clock in here until number 23. Is it not?
Who is it?
Cosme in New York?
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, I've heard of it, but I can't tell you what it's about. We can't get one in the top 10.
Where's 11 Madison?
I don't know.
What year is this?
2019.
Damn.
They slipped. They're on the they're trying to make a comeback, I guess. They're actually not on this 2019 version.
I wonder if they were closed for the end of
Maybe?
19.
I don't know.
Well,
Alinea in Chicago is another really famous one that has frequently been on this list. It's number 37 in the most recent.
I'd love to see that in person.
Now, that one is supposed to be... That one is like going to a science experiment,
Yeah.
from what I understand.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to do all sorts of stuff in, like, bottles and smoke and all sorts of weird shit like
Foams.
that. Foams.
You love a good foam.
That's right. That's exactly right. Give me all of the molecular gastronomy, Phil. No, I don't know.
So Noma's number 2 on this list.
That's right.
And Mirazor
Well, so let's
is number 1. Let's go to some of these.
let's book it. Let's book 11 at Madison Park.
Okay.
It would be we would talk about it on the podcast. It would be for content, and so it's a write-off.
You got that right, baby. Write it off, Randy.
I'll talk to Dave about getting
Right.
a washed credit card. Even then, I
Sure.
don't even have to worry about writing it off. Let's see. What else do we have today, Phil? We got a hotline call.
Oh, really?
That's right, we do.
Let's listen to one of them.
Okay. Before we listen to that,
Mm-hmm.
let me tell everybody what the hotline number is. It's 833 Club Coup. If that is too difficult for you to remember, or you don't have like a rotary telephone where it's very easy to just, dial up those numbers.
Yeah.
Here's the real number. It's 833-258-2266. Get out a pen and paper and jot that down. I stole the notepad and the pencil from Carpenter Hotel. I think you're allowed to take that
Yeah,
stuff.
sure.
But
That's
I
what
liked
it's
it.
there for.
I liked it. I thought it very nice branding.
The Land Boys.
That's yeah. Yeah, they are. We talked about the Land Boys, didn't we?
Yeah, they kill it. Everything
They
they do is very
They got
spot on.
that big ass metal thing outside the
Yeah.
pool that goes up the building.
Beautiful.
Very cool. Yeah. 833-258-2266. Get your hotline calls in. This is just a little we got one, so I'm dropping it as a little teaser, whet the appetite, whet the palate right before you go to 11 Madison Park. And call it in, man. Call your stuff in. You can let me know why
Let Barrett know how terrible he is.
Yeah. You can tell me why I'm wrong about jound. Or you can give your thoughts on beach vacay shoes. Or tell us about your favorite dive bar. Or
Your favorite tasting menu.
favorite tasting menu, best tasting menu.
Worst tasting menu experience.
Worst-
Now that's something.
Yes.
That I'd like to hear.
I would, yeah. Tell me about a time where you walked out of a restaurant and you were like, I can't believe I just spent $600.
On that shit.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's good. There's got to be a good story out of that.
Would you just call your credit card company up and be like,
Yeah. Fraud.
take it off?
That's a fraudulent charge.
All right, let's play this hotline call. Let me make sure I've got it all queued up. Here we go. Here it goes.
Hey guys, my name is Alex. I'm from Midland, Texas, and I just had some questions about what the style is this summer. I have a friend who's going to be participating in the Olympic trials, the U.S. Olympic trials in Eugene, Oregon, in a month, and I just wanted to be like, well, what should I wear? I don't know. Like, I don't want to be the guy wearing, like, all USA attire. Like, we're not rowdy gentlemen jerseys and shirts. And no offense to rowdy gentlemen, of course. But, I mean, like, I don't want to be wearing all American flag stuff. That's not, I don't know. It's just, but what should I wear to to a sporting event that there isn't really a team sport? Thanks, guys. Bye.
So, what are you wearing? Sorry about that. Got to turn the
A little feedback.
Turn our guys down. Turn our speakers down.
That's good.
Basically, what are you wearing to an event that's not a team sport? Might have some Olympic connotation. Sounds like Olympic trials. So you got to rep. Maybe you want to rep the squad, rep the side. Little USA action. Speaking of rowdy gentlemen, I'm just waiting for the day that I'm like cruising down 4th Street and it's like Oil Can Harry's, Rain, and Rowdy Gentleman has popped up as the newest bar on the 4th Street row, because it's going to happen.
Baby.
It's going to happen. It's too perfect a name.
Yeah.
To not be used in that type of context.
I'll be there.
So and yeah, I will. I'll check it out. They'll earn my business. Anyways, no offense taken to Rowdy Gentleman. Don't you worry about that. Well, I got something that's sort of relative. Later this month, I'm going to the football game at Q2 Stadium, where the U.S. Women's National Team is taking on Nigeria. And I've got a hat from Nike that's a U.S. Women's National Team hat. It actually doesn't say USWNT anywhere on it. It just has like the little. It's got a Nike. It's white, blue Nike swoosh, blue USA, and then it might have like some stars somewhere for their World Cups. I can't remember, but it's very subtle. You know what I mean? And that's the team gear that I'm gonna rock, and like everything on my body will just be normal clothes basically. I won't I won't like wrap myself up in an American flag or anything like that, or put on any crazy USA jerseys like that.
You'll be painting your face.
I will not be painting my face. No. Unless there's like a face painter there as part of the attraction.
Yeah. I'd love to see it.
Then I might.
Yeah, I would love that.
So yeah, man, I just my vote here is to keep it subtle. Like choose kind of one thing that, if you want to rep the country and put on a little USA gear, that's great. But it doesn't need to be like one of those like Declaration of Independence polos from Kohl's. No offense, Randy. Yeah, just and other than that, just keep it summary and simple. And
well, I think it'd be cool to rep if your buddy, whoever this is, went to a university and made any university, rep the college.
Yeah.
Some college gear would be cool.
Yeah. Yeah. You think the Olympics are going to happen?
I don't know, dude. It seems like they are, but then all these people are saying,
if there's no fans, I'm not going. Like why? Like right? And that kind of the. I feel like a lot of a lot of the golfers and a lot of the tennis guys have been like, I don't know if I'm going to go if there's no fans.
Well, yeah, I'm not really watching a lot of Olympic golf.
No?
Nah.
Okay.
I always fuck up the Olympics, dude. I never watch. I get all the time screwed up. The event that I wanted to see has already happened. So
I bet they have an app for that this year.
I'm sure.
It's the Peacock app because it's all on Peacock.
I get more excited for the World Cup, even though I'm not a soccer guy, but I love watching the World Cup.
Yeah, for sure.
Love it.
Don't we have a World Cup coming up?
I don't know. I'd venture to guess that the men's USA team isn't a contender.
Have we had the World Cup where we didn't make the World Cup already?
Yeah.
That happened.
That happened, right, Randy? He doesn't know. Back there on his phone.
Oh, man. I've got my World Cups all mixed up. But it must have been... Is 22 the next World Cup?
Oh, okay. And we didn't make that one?
We
need to freeze in here.
I don't know. We do. Yeah.
But the moral of the story is don't wear the American flag tied around your freaking neck to the event. I think college gear would be cool. Also, just depends on the weather. Wear something that you would wear to any sort of outdoor.
Yeah, well, I don't know what if this is something
tough,
if this is something that's coming up soon in Eugene, Oregon, it might be kind of chilly and cold.
Is that where this is going down?
I think he said Eugene, Oregon. Yeah.
Oh.
There were some. Colorado's been having some cold weather. There's been some cold weather in the country, all the way into June. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I like your takes. I like the college gear, for sure, and if you're in Eugene, it's got to keep it Nike. Don't show up with the three stripes.
No, they'll kick you out.
They will. Just They won't even let you off the plane.
Right.
They check your bag.
Man, I bet there's got to be a dope Nike store in Eugene.
Yeah. I bet there's a nice one.
Go cop some gear there and then go to the...
We didn't camp out for the Domain Nike store
it.
release. We missed it. It looks like the next World Cup is in 2022. So I was right.
Yeah.
So 2018 was the one that we did not make.
Oh, is that right?
So qualifying is probably about to pop off, I would imagine.
Huh.
Right? Got to. I don't know. Maybe this is the one we didn't make.
Yeah.
I need to do more research. And doing it here on the podcast is not good content.
No.
So,
but you're not also you did skip the season tickets for Austin FC, right?
I did, and that was a bad decision. That was a bad move.
Because they're reselling.
Because they're reselling like crazy, and you could have resold a couple games and probably paid for the season tickets themselves, and then gone to the ones that you wanted to go to. So, you
blew it.
I did. I got on the little. I'm on the I'm on their little club thing. $50 a year gives you access to pre-sales, so I was able to buy tickets for a game, and I can still, and they'll release another section of games to buy tickets for, and I'll be able to buy a couple more, and that went pretty smoothly, and pay retail for the pay face value for them, so that's okay. But I definitely should have just gotten the season tickets and turned it into a money making opportunity. Not to mention, now you're never going to get season tickets because the wait list is probably 100,000 people long.
Did you get any gear?
I don't have any gear yet. No, but I did include some gear in.
That's right.
In the May in the May best stuff list on Patreon.com/clubcool. So check it out.
I like those jerseys. I think they're cool.
I like our jerseys too.
And I like Yeti as a title sponsor. That looks nice.
Green and black is like an underused sports team color, I think.
I saw something about Virgil teasing something about redesigning Liverpool's uniforms. Is that right? Something of the sort. Or he's going to collaborate with somebody in I'm assuming that's the Champions League.
Maybe so.
Randy doesn't know that either.
Well, Liverpool's a English Premier League team.
There, one of those.
Yeah.
Either way, that'd be nice.
He's done Nike Off-White has done like that soccer capsule thing.
Wasn't it Nigeria?
So no, it was just like Off-White. It was just like not even a team.
Oh.
Yeah. I could definitely see that happening. And Jordan Brand does a bunch of stuff with Paris Saint-Germain. So those connections, they're already there. All right, Phil, you got anything else for us today?
No. Let's go get a tasting menu off.
Yeah. And make sure to call in and let us know about your worst tasting menu experience. One more time, that's 833-258-2266. Check us out, patreon.com/clubcool. Follow us on Instagram at clubcoolpod. Damn it, I messed it up. I don't know how Dave works these boards. He's so on top of it. He's just,
He's a pro.
He's a pro.
You're an amateur.
I'm an amateur. That's
you used to be a DJ too. You should know how to work this.
And I can't even do this. I can't even do it.
Oh, fat finger.
What's I don't know why is this? Oh, I'm pushing.
Add me on the group.
There it is. At Club Cool Pod.
Wow.
Add me on the group.
That missed.
I thought it was a touchscreen for a minute. We'll get better at this. We need our own little category.
Not we, you.
Me, yes. All right, that'll wrap it up for us today. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye-bye.
Welcome to the club.